Well, hello.
We're back.
We're
Welcome
doing it again.
back. Yeah, we took a week off because we were film festivaling, and that's what happens to you. And we're back. I'm Tara,
I'm Natalie.
and we together are making a movie, and this is a podcast about making a movie. And 1 week off was enough time for me to not be good at our own intro. We're just still
Right?
too new
Yeah.
to it. Yeah,
Which is
only
called
20 episodes.
right. We're making a movie,
We're
but you're here. You found it already,
You found
so
us.
there you go.
You know what's going on. You know what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. So, welcome to our podcast. For those of you who are just now joining us from some friends we picked up from our film festivaling adventure, what this is a podcast chronicling the behind the scenes adventure of Natalie and I making our very first feature film, which is called Turns Out. It is an apocalypse buddy comedy. And we are smack dab in the middle of development. Natalie's favorite part of
Mm-hmm.
filmmaking.
I
Favorite
hate
part.
it.
We've been talking a lot about funding. That's kind of also where we are presently at, looking for funding for our first feature film, which is a lot of money, but also not a lot of money. That's what I keep telling people. It's a lot of money, but not a lot of money.
So,
Uh, Before we get rolling, I want to say a big thank you to Desiree being a PayPal pal out there, sending us some monies for the PayPal. These funds that we're collecting on PayPal and also on our super chats on YouTube while we're doing the show live are going directly to make the movie happen. Every cent we're putting together is going to go to making things happen, from submitting our script to the script competitions all the way to doing the crafty. We're putting it in a bank account and we're going to use it. So thank you, Desiree. We appreciate you so much.
mm-hmm. Which leads into our breaking news. Breaking news turns out it's the apocalypse we think has
Mhm.
been accepted into the Page International Script Writing Awards. We are a quarterfinalist. And that like there's a lot of them, a lot of scripts on that list. However, they did say it's the top 10% of the
Yeah.
films that were submitted. They got almost 1,000. I mean, almost no, almost 10,000. Was it 9,000
Whoa.
scripts was what they got? Yeah. So I mean,
Whoa.
it's insane. I don't know how they went through them. Maybe they
Oh,
just picked
no.
ours out of a hat. That's how we made through the
That's,
quarterfinalists. I'm
and then
okay
they'll
with
read
that. I'm
it.
Laurel hunting. So
Yeah,
yay.
we're very excited and very grateful. Thank you so much. Anytime that our script makes it into a script writing competition or film festival, we are just so tickled because it's our first feature to ever write. We've been writing it for a long time and worked
Mm-hmm.
very hard on it, but still, like, it feels like we really wrote because we got in. Not that if you don't get in, you're not. But for
Well,
us, it's like, oh, okay, we did it.
so I will say that lot of times, and anyone who's watched listened to the screenwriting portion of this, Tara and I have written a lot for ourselves and not
For
having to,
ourselves.
no one else has ever had to read it. It just has to be
Hmm.
from our mind onto the camera. So like formatting's not right and stuff like that. So we really had to bog down in this one and get like, become writers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had to
Yeah.
learn. We had to learn. We had to learn. And then the script writing
Yeah.
portion of the
Mm-hmm.
show was so helpful for that. So helpful for that. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Today, episode 20, here we is.
Yeah, we
Um,
took last week off to go to a film festival. This week, the week before, we talked to Ryan McDonough about his feature film Last Night in Rossi, and his funding journey. That's where we're at. We're at funding journey. Like, how did you get your film made?
how?
Because we trying to get our film made.
Mhm.
And so it was really great. Oh my
It was
gosh, it was
great.
terrifying. to
Mm-hmm.
listen to. Like, I highly recommend that episode 19. You can find it on your wherever you find your podcasts. And but watch that video if you can, because Ryan brought up some spreadsheets and stuff, and
Oh my
oh my
God.
goodness.
He had a
Oh,
very like structured
mm-hmm.
pipeline. Reminded me very much of like like getting funding for apps, like very corporate
Business.
minded
Yep.
business approach to getting the funding, which I really appreciated. A good spreadsheet. We are actually going to make our own spreadsheet inspired by Ryan's work. I know. I'll make it. Don't worry. I'll make it easy.
Okay.
That's all. It's on my to-do list this week. But today we got another interview. Interviews are like, man, these are my favorite episodes. Truly, truly, truly.
Hmm.
Today we have another interview with Lauren Musgrove, who is a director, a writer, and a producer. She's worn all these hats herself. If you go to her IMDb, you'll see a plethora of pinatas on her resume. We met Lauren at a film festival. I want to say it was Dubuque. They all
It
run
was
together.
Dubuque. Hmm.
Okay,
We
great.
met her for the first time in Dubuque, and then we ran into her again at Gig Harbor. Both
Yeah.
times she was with her film Ugly Sweater.
Yeah, at Dubuque, I had the pleasure of being the person running her Q&A after it was a gig.
Gig
It
Harbor.
was
That was
gig.
Gig
See, they
Harbor.
all, oh, you're right. I was like
Hmm.
putting it, oh God, we're so bad. They all
Yep.
run together. Gig
Hmm.
Harbor. I had that. I didn't get to see the film in Dubuque because of scheduling conflicts. And that's what happens is like you meet somebody at a film festival, you don't get to see their film there. And then it's always the next fest that like you become fast friends. And that's definitely what
Hmm.
happened with Lauren. But in Gig, I had the pleasure of being the person doing the Q&A for her film. So I got to sit through the film twice, sit through. I had the pleasure of seeing it twice, which the first time you see a film, you're on the ride. And the second time you watch it, and like as the Q&A person, I'm trying to think of questions that I can ask in the Q&A in case no one else does. And the second time you
Mm.
watch it, you get to really sit and watch the film. And this is such a so Ugly Sweater is such an indie, like I love the vibe of it. It's a coming of age story. It's indie. It made me feel exactly the way I felt when I was 13 and 14 years old, when I was in junior high and trying to figure myself out, trying to and the way my bedroom even looked with all my art
Oh,
all over the walls because there's sections of
yeah.
it that are animated and they're yarn animation and it just harkened to all these feelings I had when I was of that age and I
Hmm.
for me like that is one of the highest compliments of a film is like you took me to a place emotionally and I felt this thing and especially
Hmm.
if you're taking me back to my youth like I was there I've been there so for a coming of age story can sometimes be very boring for me because I am no longer coming of that age I'm coming of a different age
We
so
should make a
that
40-year-old coming of age story.
I think we should. I think we should. Yeah, so for a coming of age story of that age to really captivate me, like it was such a fun ride. It really is.
Hmm.
Really, really was. Did you get to see it at all? I don't
No,
remember.
I haven't.
Oh
No.
man. All right. Well, you may get your chance sometime
Yeah.
soon.
Hmm.
But before I bring Lauren into the room, because that's gonna be my very next thing, I just want to preemptively say we got a couple of variables running today. We got some puppies, four whole puppies that are running around, and we got excitingly, Natalie has a new computer, so we've got
S-
some technical
So who
things
knows what'll
happening.
go wrong there?
Sue, I mean, she's not using the new computer yet. It's to the side, but all of her notes are on said computer. So,
Yeah.
so just so if
So we
Natalie
have,
starts yelling at the computer,
that's why.
if the puppies start puppying and the computer starts computering, you know what's going on out there. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring Lauren in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh gosh, here we go into the thing. Welcome. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Welcome to our little party.
So
This is
All
a
fun.
right.
Yeah.
boring party.
It's the most fun you can have at 10
Breakfast
a.m.
party. Yeah.
Pacific time. All right,
Well, it's one
Lauren.
here, so I'm in
Oh, okay.
Georgia.
You're
Yeah.
Oh,
allowed
that's
to
right.
party now.
You're allowed to. It's that time. You're doing a late lunch party with us.
Hmm.
We're
Mm.
just still waking up. All right, Lauren. Tell us, who are you? What are you? What are you doing here?
Who invited
Ah,
you?
you guys did. Um, so I'm a filmmaker. I am also now a film professor at the University of Georgia here in
Ooh.
Athens. So that's where I live. I've been teaching there for 2 years. So about to start my fifth semester. Very exciting.
Ooh.
So I have some students that have graduated now that are going off and making their films, and it's very exciting. I didn't always know I wanted to be in academia, but I always liked school. You'll see that connection with the character in Ugly Sweater being really academically minded. And I did get a master's degree. So I got my undergrad at Alabama, master's at Emerson, both in film. But in between, I worked as a film producer, mostly making documentaries.
Okay.
And I grew up as an actress, like in theater. So I wanted to get back into acting and writing and playing pretend, like not just
Yeah.
documentaries. I wanted to do more narrative stuff. I
Mhm.
missed it. So that's kind of was my push back into grad school was, okay, this will give me an opportunity and a focus to try that again and not just, become entirely a documentary filmmaker. And so while I was there, I made a couple shorts and I wrote and shot most of my feature while I was still in Boston and loved it. And then got into the teaching track and ended up loving that. And so now I'm in this really great place where I'm teaching, but I'm on a tenure track. So that means I still have to make creative work. That's my research.
Oh,
It's called creative work. So it's part of my job now to keep making
Oh,
movies
how
as a
lovely.
professor. So it all kind
yeah.
of worked out, and people are like, how do you do all the things? But I'm like, they're all connected to me.
Mhm.
And I really love it. And I really love Athens too. Just shout out to where I live now. So I'm happily here. I'm excited about the Georgia film scene and watching that grow and being a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at
Yeah.
now.
I love that it's like
Sidebar, hold on.
oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry, sidebar. Didn't you, you have a festival that you've started out there as well, right? Or you're
Yeah,
involved in?
that was one of the things. Yeah, the Athens Film
Oh, is that what you
Fest.
wrote down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so
Yay.
that
Awesome. Yeah.
it's next month. So it's very soon.
Oh,
August
Yeah.
August 14 to 17. It's our second year. So the first year I was the opening night feature, which was very exciting.
oh,
It was the only
yeah.
time we got to do that and super sold out. People were turned away from my film. It was really dramatic.
Oh, that's
But really
fantastic.
fun. And I just loved what they were doing with it and the vision they had for it. So I decided to go behind the scenes this year, and I'm on the board now. It's a nonprofit, and I'm helping run it. So it's
Wow.
going to
Awesome.
be a great
Yeah.
year. I've got a couple friends that I met on the circuit that submitted their films and hopefully are coming out. So it should be a good
Yeah.
time.
Well, I love that
Awesome.
you get that inside perspective now on like the film festival life.
Hmm.
Like it's such a different you see it from the other side. And that and like some we sometimes get a peek into that world of like the film festival from the other side. And you're like, oh, I
Hmm.
understand better like why films get accepted. What's it all like programming and all that so forth. I was gonna say also I love that part of your job is to continue to create work. Like I remember in my youth, not to call out professors specifically, but like they hadn't actually worked in the industry in so long that their information and feedback was dated and unhelpful and like s-
Mm. Mm.
continuing to create in real time and then also teach like I think helps you stay
Yeah,
relevant to your students.
that's kind of part of the whole idea of a research institution. There's a
Mhm.
lot of schools out there that don't have those kind of positions. And so then those professors are just lecturers. All they
Yeah.
do is teach. And then once you get tenure, you kind of don't have to make as much. So if you have a professor that's been there a really long time, they might have
Hmm.
worked on stuff,
Yeah.
10 years ago or something. But
Which is there's
so
two
I,
stories to
yeah.
tell, but I
Mhm.
think that's
But
really
it's a really
smart.
hot, like, 5 years for the assistant professors to
Hot
be
five
doing stuff. It's a very unique position to find myself
years.
in. I like talking to the people in other departments too, and just kind of comparing and contrasting. They're like, I have this research paper and I'm, trying to find a publisher, which for me is like finding a distributor. And they're like, I presented it at a conference, which for me is like going to a film festival. So it's
Yeah.
really
Doing a
interesting to
pitch.
have
Yeah.
that insight into that world. I really like it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So tell us a little about Ugly Sweater. What's that all about?
Yeah, Ugly Sweater is my first feature that I directed. So my directorial debut. I also did lots of other things on it, as you mentioned. I co-wrote it, so I brought a co-writer on, which was really helpful because the storylines are drawn from my personal life, but I wanted enough separation from the character for it to feel not like a documentary again. And like she was her own character and other people could connect to
Mhm.
her. And it wasn't too close to me that I could still make kind of good decisions about it and everything. So I brought in a co-writer, Gemma. She's great. And I also produced, executive produced, made the thing, was very involved in post-production.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's a coming of age story. I'm wearing my star shirt because she wants to be an astrophysicist. So both of my parents worked at NASA basically their whole careers. And I subtly kind of wanted to bring in representation of women in STEM and especially women of color in STEM and just have a little nugget for that there. And so Ruby is the main character and she is going from high school to college. So it's that really big jump, that really big transition that people experience at that time, whether or not they go to college. Basically, you know, you're leaving your house, you're going off and being an adult. Actually, her sister says adult in the film with those air quotes.
Yeah.
Because like, are you really an adult yet? I don't even know if I feel like an adult yet. So I still love coming of age stories, for the record. Coming of age films, I still feel like I get a lot out of them. But she is struggling mentally with her ambition and her goals and all the different things she's experiencing for the first time. So the film itself, The Ugly Sweater, is her inner mind, and she is her own villain in the story, is her just herself holding herself back. So it's very introspective. You go into her own headspace in her like dreams and in her psyche, and it's all kind of blended in a really, I hope, unique way for viewers. And you get to see her go through a lot and end up reaching some sort of place of peace and happiness at the end.
Yeah. And there
Yeah.
was the animation, there was a lot of like parts and pieces to this film. Like you think animation, that's going to make it easier. No, no, no. You still that's hours, that's monies. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot. Actually in prepping for this in this episode, you and I messaged you. I slid into your DMs to talk to you about being on the show. And you and I had a pretty simple exchange. I wanted to keep it basic because I didn't want to know too much ahead of time because we like
Mm.
to investigate with our audience in real time. But the couple of things that you mentioned in our exchange that really stood out to me is that you did get private investors. And also, you contributed to your own funds to get it rolling. And you said that was a key element. And I really was like, okay, something I have, of course, we always put our own money into the project, but also like, okay, that's something that helped get the ball rolling for you. And also that you had built a production company and an image and a brand with projects for 3 years before doing your
Mhm.
feature film, which I patted Natalie and I on our backs for. We've been making
Yes.
films for years now. And like, okay, everyone's always pushing you to make your first features. Like, no, no, we did the right thing by building up
A
a
brand.
reputation and a
Mhm.
brand. Like we really have worked hard on our brand that we present forth to the world. And that you felt that a producing partner and you being friends for as long as you did was helpful to investors to see that you had a built-in relationship. And I was like, yes, more pats on more backs. Like we felt, I was like, yes, this exchange, like our little DM exchange is like, okay, all right, we're
Mhm.
doing it. We're doing it. I felt great. Like, I really want to dive into this funding adventure, all these things that you brought up. Was it, this is such a rhetorical question, I guess. How hard was it?
It went on a big journey. So this film, like I will tell you, you know, how this film happened, but I don't want to make another film in this way, where it
Yeah.
started out a lot smaller than it became, and I'm really happy that it got to where it was and that we figured everything out in the end.
Hmm.
But it started out as potentially even just a short film. I made a short version of it as my
Oh.
thesis.
Oh.
And then I just had this, it was, the idea was so big. I had this feature idea. I brought in the writer, and initially it was only going to be my funding, like personally my money that
Oh.
was going to make the
Oh,
whole
okay.
thing. and we were going to make it very, very, very low budget. And I was going to be the animator, and I was going to probably edit it too, and do everything, right?
Yeah.
And just non-union, very, very, very low budget. And probably we're going to have to cut some stuff, change things, less characters, less locations with that. But then through collaborations with other people that really liked the story, or like I'm telling you guys, really liked Purple Magnet Productions, our brand that we made, and liked our previous content, and liked supporting us as two best friend female filmmakers. It's literally y'all. Like that I think was really a lot of what attached people to the project. Was okay, they've done really good for themselves. Like, they've been through a lot together. They're going to be able to get through it, because making a feature is hard, stressful. People get in fights. You got to be able to get through that. So having a relationship prior with the core people on the set, I feel like is really important for first time features. Having people you can trust and you can lean on in those moments, and you can get through it together. So that's why from the outside looking in, it's really good to see, okay, the core group of people making this are going to stick together and have each other's backs.
Yeah.
And like money and drama and stress is not going to tear the project apart. So that's important. But I think people were really excited about us making one with Purple Magnet, because I had produced a feature, and then my business partner, Maggie, had produced a couple, maybe one or two outside of the company. So mine ended up being, the one I made was in association with our company. We did get our name on it, but we had never made one like just us in our company. So that I think was a big push for people and really exciting.
Okay.
So people, like the creative people, came on and they were like, no, Lauren, we're not making a short. We're making a feature. We're going to make it happen one way or another. I really want to do this with you guys. And I think we got really blessed with finding people similar to us that were willing to work on this for cheap to free, for like the possibility of back end points, or like just working on a feature was so exciting to all of us. It was a lot of people's first feature. So that helped keep the budget low and also make the movie. Like I don't know. I probably would have backed out if those people weren't like, no, Lauren, the script made me cry. We're making this, And so that was really important. But
that's always an interesting thing with like when producing something, anything, stage, whatever, as soon as you have another person involved, like outside of your circle, now you have to do it. Like up until that point, like I've had ones where it was like, until we've announced this production, then it's not real yet to me until like I've got someone else who I have to answer to that. Now, okay, I guess, I mean, I've done it with a drinking game throughout the year, the theater show I produced. Like we'd have a venue and we would have cast and we would have, but until I sold that first ticket, I was like, I can always pull out. Like, and now it's like, once you've got anybody else's money, it's like, well, I'm making a thing.
Well, and how often just you and I having each other is the thing that kept us making a YouTube show for 8 years. Like we would have both quit long ago had I not had to answer to Natalie and I have to edit this because Natalie's waiting for my edit. Like it just, it helps propel you forward. So you started with a smaller budget that was your own funds. Like, did you really tailor the feature film for that budget, or did you?
And so that's why, like our locations and even some of the way the script is written, my producer, Maggie, did tell me cut some locations, and I was like, no, and I didn't. But even so, it wasn't difficult locations. So like that, it was catered towards that. I think a couple things kind of started to expand it. The first thing being casting our lead. And we knew casting her, she was SAG, she was going to cost more. We were going to have to fly her out. But my producer was like, I know this is over our budget. We will raise more money after we shoot it to finish it. And to reimburse that. So basically production was made on my funds and credit cards. And then we got all of our investors after we wrapped. which that was also
Yeah.
arguably very, very risky. And we knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that, you know,
Good for
our
you.
plan, our backup plan was we will just, you know, chip away at this debt as we go on our lives and we make money elsewhere and things. And that was like the backup plan. But the plan was, I mean, it's crazy as it sounds, it was to just make the dang thing and then raise
Pay
the
it
money
out
we needed
later.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And but because we had shot it, because it was, you know, in the can, I think it made it a lot easier to get people on board as well because we'd already shot it. So there was
Yeah.
there was
You already
less
had
risk.
product.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
That's true.
People are moving towards doing finishing funds in a
Right.
different way. Like it is like
Yeah.
because one, I think it is that if you're raising money, like the price point, once you put the finishing funds on there, you're like, well, let's just hide that number for a while because that's what's going to
Mhm.
really take. But like if you're asking for that big amount, but the other part is it's like once it's there, I know we can do this other part. Like, you know, you have the proof, you show a sizzle of like, look, we've got this in the can. Will you help us finish it? Or help
Right.
us, you know, pay off the credit card I used to make the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Terrifying,
Right.
but brave.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had our company, you know, so it was that was little felt like a little bit of protection, but it was very stressful times, I will
I
say.
bet.
Yeah,
But
I
now
bet.
that we've made this one, you know, this film forever now is our proof of concept of being able to make a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving forward with other projects, we're not going to do it that route and instead get the investors and the financing to do the production beforehand. But we have this one now. So it's like, look, we've already, you know, we can make a movie, right?
Yeah. And that's so important.
Yeah.
Just showing you can do it and follow through and
Mhm.
deliver and get it out there. Like almost more important than I don't know what I was where more important than like holding off for it to be perfect, getting it done. Like you said, just shoot the dang
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
getting it done and
Yeah.
out there. Like
Yeah. And so
let's do
that's
it.
something else I want to talk about, which I think you might bring up, but is our partnerships with other production companies. So that was another reason why it just sort of started propelling forward. I started to feel like it was like, and it's like a Christmas movie, so there's snow and stuff, but like there was just this sort of avalanche. Like I was like, "Oh, you guys, look, I made a little snowman. Isn't it cute?" And then people were like, "Wait, I really like it." And then it just started snowballing, and I just sort of
Yeah.
had to ride this wave. And now here we are. It's going to be distributed this year, which is amazing.
That's
But one of the
amazing.
things that happened was I think we had posted on some Boston channels because we didn't have a big network in Boston because I'd only been there for like 2 years, just looking for crew and cast and like locals to help out with this project. So that's another thing too, is I think it being a Boston film was exciting for a lot of people, even some of our actors. And they were like, you know, we get on movies here, but we're not these main supporting characters where these side parts, they bring in everyone from LA, which we did bring our lead from LA, but hitting into that local scene was really important.
Yeah.
And so we had two production companies that came on board to collaborate with us, partly because we were looking at filming in February in Boston, which is no one is filming at that time. No one's doing anything. The trains are shut down. Snow. It's like it's
Yeah.
cold. It's like the
Cold.
worst month for production. But for us, it was the best because that meant that a lot of the local resources in Boston and the surrounding areas, like cast, crew, gear, locations, all of that were not being used that month. They were like, so these production companies were like, we don't have any projects this month. So we're willing to take a gamble on y'all and work on this for
Okay.
only back end
That's
return on
that's
investment.
interesting. Yeah, that's
Ooh.
interesting
Yeah.
because you think about
Okay.
it. You think about it when you're trying to travel. They're called the shoulder seasons.
Shoulder
You know, like
seasons. I was just thinking
outside of
that.
traveling, like if you can't afford to go during the big seasons, you travel
Right.
on the shoulder seasons. Well, if you can't afford to film during the main, like the pilot seasons and the whatever, like film on your shoulder seasons and you'll get the crew, the cast. You can get them for a little bit of a bargain. Also, the equipment's available that you would have to rent,
Yeah.
and they might give it to you. Locations are available. You're a genius. You're a
Filming on the
genius,
shoulder,
and
film
I
on the
am
I'm
shoulder
filming on the
season.
shoulder seasons from
I
now
would love
on.
to say
Hashtag.
this was part of the plan, but it's just one of those things we got lucky with, I think.
I think it's
You know,
brilliant.
yeah,
I'm gonna look to that from now on. I think that's very
Hmm.
smart, especially
yeah,
on
even
location like that.
right, yeah, even one of my favorite locations we got was a studio, Marina Studios, and they also really liked us because they're like one of the only women-owned studios in the whole
Mm.
country, and really liked us and our brand and could see that we were, pushing forward and doing stuff beyond just this film, and also really liked that we were collaborating with students and everything. And they were like in between big sets. So their studio was empty.
Oh,
Hmm.
So they were like, "Yeah,
amazing.
we're not even using it. You guys can come use it for this scene."
Awesome.
And so it was these car scenes that I was like, I really don't want to shoot these outside. That is going to be miserable. Everyone's going to be cold. It's going to also just be expensive to make sure everyone's safe. And so we brought these cars into this warehouse and were able to film in heating, with our own lights.
Genius.
So
Yeah.
that was great. Yeah, and so all these people were like, let's do it. Let's go for it. And so we just went for it partway through, ran out of funding, had to open a new card to finish the production. And
Oh
then
man.
once that all
Ooh.
settled down, we were like,
Ooh.
okay, who do we know
Ooh.
that wants to help us with this film?
Oh
Ooh.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Speaking of running out of money, because we're in that part where we're putting together like the first preliminary budgets and stuff, and we're going to
Hmm.
have to do this 5 more times, I'm sure. Was there anything that you forgot in your preliminary budget
Mm.
or wound up being important or that you underestimated in the process that you're now like, aha, I'm gonna remember that this time?
Um, I think we under budgeted our food. I don't
Oh.
think we actually did, but I think that because people were working for such bargains, we really wanted to feed them well, and then kind of
Hmm.
ended up overspending there. So that I think is actually where we were like, oh,
Mm.
and we would have like leftovers almost every day too. And I was like, all
Hmm.
right, y'all, we need to start buying a little bit less every day
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah. That's
food
so
thing.
scary. That's a scary one to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
And then the unions too. So because we had to go SAG because our lead was SAG, there was a lot of stuff involving that we're still working through to make sure we're compliant and everything. So I would recommend, I mean, I don't know. It's a gamble. It's like, do we want to go with this bigger actor that we have to go through SAG to do, or do we want to keep it entirely indie and non-union and not have to deal with that, but maybe
Hmm.
they're not as well known?
Hmm.
It's a toss up. So we took the risk. My producing partner was like, that this is worth it. And from what I've learned now on the distribution side, I do believe that, but I think it's kind of what do you want to do with your project, and then where you are getting the like actual cash money from and the other investments from, what are they trying to get out, just all be on the same page about it. It might make more sense to go non-union
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, like, I
And
think, oh, good.
trying to think, I feel like I had one other thing about budget stuff we didn't, that wasn't on
Account for
our,
or
yeah, it wasn't on our radar. um I don't know.
It'll come to me.
I'm
No.
sure
No,
there
if
was
it
a million
comes,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. If there's
Yeah.
one that pops in the middle of somewhere
Yeah.
else, just scream it
Yeah,
out
I'll
and we'll
just be
know
like,
exactly
"Oh,
what you mean.
this." Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to think of all of it. And like when it comes to food, I often am the person doing the ordering of the food. I'm always so scared I don't have enough. And I'd
Right.
rather have more
Mhm.
than not enough
I mean, you
or
Hmm.
would, yeah, but
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
there's a balance there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Finding
Yeah. It
finding that
takes a
sweet
while.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it takes a long time as a producer to get down that skill set of knowing how much to order for food for people. Like, I'm getting
Mm.
close, but not quite.
Yeah, it's also,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
shot in like close to downtown Boston a couple times, and so just the prices there are a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mm.
considering all of that, where you're filming and everything and what you're going to
Hmm.
have access to.
Yeah.
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 Now, I looked at your resume. I took a little peeky peek on your IMDb, and I saw that you were a producer on another feature
Mhm.
previously, the third Saturday in October, which sounds so much fun, and I want to go watch it for Halloween. Did you learn anything from the funding process of that one that you carried over into Ugly Sweater?
So that one was cost a lot more. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like a big thing of when I'm thinking about funding for Ugly Sweater, that I'm like, we didn't necessarily raise a bunch of money. We cut costs in a lot of places. So like
Mm-hmm.
our equipment, our locations, and all these other things, and that we were able to save money on. So rather than raising the money to pay for
Mm-hmm.
it, we were able to remove it from the budget. Whereas that
Okay.
film didn't have that ability. It was a period piece, so the budget was higher. I do think the
Yeah.
director contributed a significant amount of his own money into it,
Mm-hmm.
but they were fundraising throughout the whole process. So that's something maybe I took away from it was, okay, you don't necessarily have to wait. And I mean, it is risky, but you don't have to wait until you have your entire budget in a bank account to start making it. Especially
Mm-hmm.
the post, like you were saying,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
post, like production and post totally split those up. And they were fundraising, finding investors all the way through, even while we were like on the festival circuit with it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All
and
right.
a lot of smaller investors. Whereas with our film, we had a couple of smaller end, and then we got one larger investor at the end. Whereas like that could have been like five different people, but it ended up just
Mm-hmm.
being one.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ability that you can be like, I have a close friend that likes the arts or something, even just like $1,000, $2,000. If you get
Mm-hmm.
five
Yeah.
people to do that, then that's $10,000.
It's a
That's
it's a
like
huge dent.
that's
That's a huge
Yeah.
dent.
a
Yeah.
huge amount of
Huge.
money. So so it's in between like crowdfunding where you're getting like 20, 50, $100 per person, and like big investors where you're getting like
Mm-hmm.
50,000 plus. It's somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
between where it's like a comfortable amount for someone to truly invest. Like people at our age are investing in stocks, they're investing in mutual funds,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're willing to try out this film, or if really arts people too, they might buy a painting for $2,000, but
Right.
instead they could buy this film, right? Or like contribute to this film.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think it was understanding that, okay, there's a world where like this kind of middle ground, these smaller investors can really make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really helpful to know going in to this project, and what your selling points are. So for us being a women-owned company was huge.
Okay.
And even being from the South, people really liked that about us.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we were pushing this story that has positive representation and breaks
Mm-hmm.
stereotypes and stuff, like what's kind of the social impact of your project,
Mm-hmm.
and how can that connect with investors. So for like the horror film, they really pushed, the genre part of it, and the
Right.
fact that there's a big
Yeah.
audience for that, and that
Absolutely.
sort of thing. So understanding what your main calling cards are, why people are going to care about this project, which might be the content and might be you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We're about to, like I said earlier, make our little spreadsheet, make our little list of people that we think could invest. I also had a
Hmm.
long chat with a man on an airplane on the flight home because I know that just talking to people more often about what I'm doing, you just never know. How did you find your investors?
They were all my production partners, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
from different, all very different parts of her life. Just, I mean, some are really spontaneous, came in, and then some were like more long term, like they had always kind of been like, okay, I want to help you at some point, I just don't know when, kind of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
thing. But the
Yeah.
thing was, once we got the first one, it was a lot easier to get the rest. And we had
Mm-hmm.
the contract ready, and we kind of already had, it's very different when you're like just asking someone for funding to make something versus asking them to join other investors that are already making this thing with you. And you already
Mm-hmm.
kind of have an idea of like, okay, this amount of money is worth an associate producer credit. This amount of money is worth an executive producer credit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's based on we've already gotten this person and this person.
Right.
And so then it
Oh.
makes a big difference when
Mhm.
you're talking to people and you kind of already have the options. It's like thinking about like a film festival, for example, like
Mhm.
running this film festival, we have a sponsorship deck where it's like what level of sponsor are you equals a certain amount of money, and it's just part of this more thorough package rather than
Yeah.
just however much you want to give us, every dollar
Right.
counts. It's like a little bit different than the crowd fund, where you want to have fair rules and positions and everyone to feel like, okay, I'm actually kind of getting in at the level that makes sense for me in this
Mhm.
project, and it's fair and I'm happy with it and all that. So that's really helpful. I mean, with you guys, I would suggest you could do both though. Like you could do a
Yeah.
crowd fund to get like kind of a baseline, and then be
Mhm.
like, okay, now some people even say, even some of these distributors I've talked to are like, they won't even talk to unless you have like 10% of your budget already raised, for
Right.
example. So like just
Right.
that initial part can be
Mhm.
hard. But I also brought that in myself with my funding. And for the record, I saved up for like a decade, intentionally
Wow.
knowing I was eventually going to
Yeah.
make a
Look at
film with this money.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good for
That's
you. I
it
had
forethought.
trouble
wasn't just like,
saving up
oh, I
for
just made my own money.
yeah.
It was like I
Yeah.
like saved up and like
Mhm.
knew that I was gonna invest in myself with that,
Right.
spend it
Yeah. Oh,
on
I
Wow.
love
and
that.
Yeah.
and and I did also. So the amount that I was gonna put in doubled by the end of it. So
That
like
makes sense. That tracks.
what I had
Yeah.
saved up, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I took out like a student loan to pay for other stuff. So I had funding. So like a bunch of different stuff
Mhm.
with that.
Mhm.
But that was a place that I found myself in. But I think that some of these investors were like, oh, they're going to make this thing,
Mhm.
like they don't want to feel like like you need them necessarily. They want to
Okay.
feel like they're joining along on the ride, and that
Mhm.
Mhm.
you guys are taking care of it. It's going to get made, and I want to be a part of it.
Right. Wow. That's been a
Right.
through line through like each person we've talked about how they've done their investing was just like this camaraderie of it more than like the investment portion of it. It's more
Mhm.
like, no, I want to do this with you. I want to help you do this. I want to be with you while you're doing this.
Mhm.
I want, as opposed to what we always think about, like, would you please give me some monies? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Yeah.
doing that is great too, and some people have a hard time even getting to that level. But
hmm
figuring out what do they want out of it? What can you
Mhm.
give them out of it? Do they
hmm
want the fun experience of seeing all the behind the scenes stuff? Do they want a ticket to the premiere? Do they want,
Mhm.
like how involved do they want to be? Do they like the storyline so much? So maybe you can figure out a way to have like some sort of social impact screening with it that will make
Oh
hmm
them super
yeah.
excited. Like
Yeah.
why do they care? It's different for every investor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
social impact is to get everyone to have a get out of Dodge bag.
That
You got to
is
have your go bag.
honestly, I think like through the writing of this movie and from like just some stuff happening back home with the weather, I've become a much more prepper person in life, and I'm
hmm
Mhm.
I'm now very proud of that fact, and I think that everybody should join us in preparing for the worst case scenario. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would.
comedy is fun. Comedy's so fun. That's so fun to join
Yeah.
on. So
Oh
I
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish all the
We've
best.
got
Yeah.
that. We've got that
Making
part
the
going for
apocalypse
us.
fun. Yeah. Yeah. Making the
I
apocalypse fun since 2027. Go ahead.
so two things that one I'll just touch on quickly is that we're really lucky partnering with Allison and Mike over at Evening Squire
So.
Productions. Allison has that brain, and she just sent us her incentives, the brand breakdown of like if
Mm.
you this much equals this and this and this,
Oh,
and I was like,
cool.
so impressed with it. And she takes the bulk of all of that on to herself and just like
Mhm.
pumps it out. And I love her for it.
She's amazing.
But you made me think of another question, which is not on our Q&A list,
Ooh.
which I'm always going off script.
Do it.
We asked, like, what did you forget? What did you, in any of your projects, what could you have cut that you didn't need to be in your budget, that you like later on went, was there anything that you went, oh, I way overestimated for wardrobe, or do you just spend everything that comes in? Because that's how some
I don't
people
think
are.
that happened. I don't know. I
Is there
don't
anything that you could
think
have done without? We did it with permitting once.
Oh,
did
that
it
was
with-
Okay.
ours. Ours
we
was
went through
permitting.
Yeah.
we went through a company to get permitting for, I'm not going to even name things at this point in time. We went through a company
Yeah,
to
sure,
get
sure, sure.
permitting things and end up being like almost a scam. Like,
Oh
you're
man,
just
and
like,
it wound
by
up
the end of
costing
it,
us
it cost we
so
ended up
much
throwing an
money.
extra $1,000 at it to
go
fix the
away.
problem like the day. It was like, fine, just here's
go
another
away.
$1,000, and we rewrote things like the day of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like I would have foregone that first 1,000 to go
Yeah.
to that company.
Yep, we learned a lesson the hard way on that one.
And you can slide into my
Yeah.
DMs and I'll tell you what I'm talking about if anybody wants to.
I mean, possibly post-production. I think we approached post a little bit differently than the production, where we were trying to we realized what we had, that we made something really incredible, and we wanted to do it justice in the post. And so we went for a bit more of a professional approach in that way, and just straight up kind of like hiring people. And then partway through, we're like, do you want to be more involved in this on like the back end points, like all the people in production are? And they were like, oh, for sure. We're like, oh, well, we
Oh.
should have talked about that before. So maybe that, but also like, I can't say I feel bad that we paid them more, because they did a great job. So
Yeah.
no, with this one, no, I mean, okay, for the horror film though, COVID, oh my gosh.
Oh
We spent
gosh.
so much on COVID tests.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like, what are you gonna do? Like,
You-
at that point, we had to. Like,
You
there's
had
no way to
Yeah.
cut that out. We would have just had to wait and film it another time. But
Yeah.
man, don't wait. Just go make your movie. It's just money.
There you go.
You'll
Yeah,
figure
I
it
don't know
out.
that anyone
Yeah.
will
Just
ever
money.
have an answer to that one. That is
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we had this extra money. Like,
Yeah. Like, or we
I don't-
accidentally spent it on something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like we did get a rental car at one point. I feel like had we thought about that beforehand, we might have been able to figure out a cheaper alternative to that.
Right.
Or like
Mhm.
renting from somewhere else, or like even booking it ahead of time could have saved money. We just needed like an extra production car to like run stuff around.
Right.
So
Right.
that
And
that
so
was
I
a
guess
big cost. Yeah.
that's one of those where if you would have, it's spending a little bit more time. Not that you didn't spend all the time. I'm just saying like just that extra second in pre-production thinking about those other things would have saved money. And so the planning, you always end up wasting money on the things that you didn't think of, because now
Yeah.
you have to spend it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. To
So
keep
true.
keep the project going, you gotta
Yeah.
finish
So
it. Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting kind of toward the end here. Do you have another feature film already in the works yet?
Yeah,
You
actually,
do?
you guys
Oh,
are
that's so
just prompting
exciting.
me with my stuff.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You were like, you can promote at the end, but now I'm just doing it throughout. Yeah. So it's funny. I was going to bring it up because it's about a YouTube live streamer
Oh.
that is an editor, and she is a horror film editor, and she live streams her edits. And we
Oh.
actually made a proof of concept short film that we're slowly kind of releasing pieces of right now. So there's
Ooh.
an Instagram account. It's called Scared Stiff with Tiff. If you like horror, it's like fun, spooky horror. I mean, it is
Yeah.
scary at parts, but we say that this script is kind of like if Disney Channel did horror. So it's if you're like, because I don't love super scary horror.
Right.
Okay.
But she gets this editing job and finds out that the scenes are real. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And yeah,
Okay.
it's horror. So you know,
Fun.
it's intense,
Oh, I
but,
love it.
so we are packaging that one up, doing it
Mhm.
differently than Ugly Sweater for sure. have a little bit more experience from all people working on it. And so
Very
hoping
cool.
to raise the funds to make that next year, hopefully. But
Okay.
the short
All
film is going
right.
to be out and about. So we're going to release our trailer for the short, I think, like next month or something. So
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Let us know when you
the
do.
I
We'll
film,
love that.
definitely post it.
yeah, the film is called Rough Cut. So
Okay.
Nice name.
like 'cause it's
Good
editing, rough
title.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, solid. That's a solid
Yeah.
title. It's got levels. I
Yeah.
like
But
that.
I'm just producing that one. So I didn't write it, I
Okay.
didn't direct it, I am just producing it, and for me, like, making Ugly
Mhm.
Sweater was so emotional. I I'm like, I wanna direct another one, but I'm happy to kind
Mhm.
of put on the producer hat for a little bit
Yeah.
and
For this
just
one,
focus
yeah.
on yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is
Yeah.
nice to like when I get to put the producer hat on only and just worry about that part. Like it changes my tenor and my I don't have to look nice every day. It's so great. Like it's just nice to
Some
like
producers dress up though, so
oh
yeah.
yeah, that's true. But like I just like I get to lean back a little bit from one version of myself and be just this
Mm,
version and like it's
Mhm.
it's nice to be that person
right.
sometimes. Amazing. Okay, we're gonna wrap you up really soon, but I know we've made you promote throughout, but go ahead and say it again. Like tell me what's
Plug your
going on with
stuff.
Ugly Sweater
Yeah.
presently because I'm
Sure.
excited for you and then
Yeah.
all the other things.
So Ugly Sweater, I won't say the names just yet because we still have to deliver, but we have signed with distribution partners. So that's very
Yay.
exciting. I will be
So
delivering the
exciting.
film to them this afternoon,
Mm.
and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. So hopefully, I'm not pretty much it's going to be released this year. Hopefully, like around the holiday season, because it's kind of a
Perfect.
Christmas film. So
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
some sort of digital platform, and you guys can follow Ugly Sweater Movie for all the updates there. But also, my company, Purple Magnet Productions, is going to post about all this stuff. So if
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
just want to see anything that I'm doing, it's on Purple Magnet Productions, and it'll talk about Ugly Sweater, and it'll talk about Rough Cut and a bunch of other little shorts that we're finally finishing this year.
Yay.
And yeah, and then the Athens Film Fest. Those are my main things right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out
Athens
the
Film
Athens.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, I could
Next
barely
month,
say the
right?
words. They just
Oh,
like blah blah through my mouth.
the I'm gonna have to slow myself down to do it. The Athens Film Festival. That's next month, right? What's the dates
Mhm.
on it?
August 14th through 17th.
Yeah, so if you're in the
Awesome.
Athens area, go to the film festival. Film festivals are such a great way if you're a filmmaker to make friends, if you're a film enthusiast to see films that you would not otherwise know existed. Like I falling into the film festival world 8 years ago, I have thanked my lucky stars ever since. So, and
Mhm.
especially I'm going to air quote this so hard, small town festivals. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Southwest and Tribeca, they have their place, but the best festivals, the most fun festivals are film festivals like the Athens Film Festival, where it's small and
Mhm.
community driven. So go.
Mhm.
Amazing. All right, Lauren, thank you so much. That's a
Yeah.
wrap on Lauren. Cheers
You're
and
welcome.
hurrah, everyone on set. I'm gonna put you back to your green room space. Thank you so,
Thank
so much for
you. Thanks
joining
for
us.
having
Thank
Hi,
me.
you.
thank you.
Bye.
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 That was so good.
Another one in the
I
books.
I know.
Bump, bump,
So
bump.
good. Like there's some pieces in there that I'm like, okay, I'm feeling motivated. I'm
Yeah.
feeling inspired.
Oh, heck yeah.
Like, yeah, I like
Well,
I'm
compared to talking to Ryan.
tell
Compared to
Ryan.
talking to Ryan.
But I think it's like taking all these parts and pieces from all these
Mhm.
funding interviews and finding the parts and pieces that work for our particular situation
Mhm.
this
Oh
time.
yeah.
And we're gonna
100%.
we're gonna we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Absolutely. Okay.
We're doing it.
All right. On to the next fun section. We're gonna do the Abby Singer shot, the second to last shot of the day. Natalie, tell me what I need to know.
I did it. I actually
Yeah,
did it. I
that
didn't
one.
do I
Yeah.
this week was rough rolling into this one, coming off of a film festival and everything.
Oh
So
man.
the fact that I even have an Abby Singer is
You
is
were
a
killing it.
testament to,
Straight killing
well,
it.
I don't know, something. Okay, so the term this week is reshoot contingency. And it fits right. We've kind of talked about this throughout the funding process, but it refers to the funds that are saved by the producers in case supplementary shots or reshoots are necessary. Now, in the big budget stuff, that comes after you've done test screenings and then you go,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, I need another scene here to make this make sense, or we're missing blah blah. We've had it
Oh,
before with our stuff where we needed a transition for something.
yep.
Not that we've ever had a reshoot contingency. We just sent way out on his own to get some video of a train.
Yay.
Actually, that's a lot of that's missing in people's low budget films is establishing shots. You go,
Yeah.
oh, or transitional shots. And so you don't need the crew there. You just need to go get a picture of a house, some
Mm-hmm.
video of a house.
Oh, yeah.
There's a really famous one that is not from, and I don't think they had a contingency fund. Otherwise, it would probably been easier. Um, Hoosiers, when
Okay.
they got done, with the
Yeah.
film. They had filmed the entire thing in Indiana. Indiana, yeah, sure, okay. And they got done and were putting their film together, and they realized there was just something missing. They needed another scene. And they called up Hackman, and he was already done. He was moved on to something else, and he was like, I'm done with that project. Thank you. I'm not going back to Indiana. And they were like, no, we need a scene. We need this scene. Well, it ended up being the scene in the locker room where he's giving the speech, which is
Mm-hmm.
the greatest scene of
The
Gene
scene.
Hackman's
Yeah.
entire career. Like, I mean, I think that is the best acting, the best. And he was like, no, no, I'm not coming. They sent him some pages. He's like, I'm not coming out there. So they sent him a rough cut of the movie and said, this is what we have, and we need this here. And he went, you're right. It does need that, and it will make that movie complete. And he flew
Mm-hmm.
out to Indiana. They got everybody else back together, and they made that happen. So if they had had some funds, maybe they would have been able to just go,
Yeah.
here's some monies.
There's some monies,
Now,
dear
I
Gene.
think that's the first thing that goes away from my budget is the contingency
Probably.
fund.
Yeah. Probably.
However, I was thinking about it, and you could just slide that over into
Mm-hmm.
not distribution, but like the festival circuit and stuff like that. If you did have your contingency fund and you didn't
Okay.
use it,
Oh,
then
right. Yeah. Yeah.
that slides into marketing. Now you've got it
Yeah,
for
better to
marketing.
have it and slide it into marketing than to
Hmm.
not have it if you can have it. Like, because
If you
sometimes you
can have
can't.
it.
Yeah, I know. Like for the film that you're starring in right now, Obit, there was a couple of times that they needed some outside house
They
shots,
needed.
and
Mhm.
weather-wise, it made it difficult for them because they needed.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
ever count on reshoots. Get everything you need. We cut an
Yeah.
entire scene of Tara's because there was no possibility to go in social anxiety. There was no
Yeah.
possibility to go back and do reshoots, and we didn't have the transition to get into one of her
Mm-hmm.
scenes.
Yep. We
We
just
got
got it.
We had to.
Yeah.
There was
It just
no. There was
there's
no
nothing we could
way
do.
around it.
There was no
Mm-mm.
contingency. There was no way to go back. Yeah. So it's just like it's hard to remember in the moment. It's great if you have the contingency. There's gonna be
Yeah.
something. Put the money aside
Hmm.
if you can. If you can.
Hmm.
Okay, Joe. Okay. All right. Before we shut it down and go home today, I have some big thank yous out there. Holy moly. So, as we say, all of our YouTube, I lost the word that it is, YouTube
Super chats.
super chats. Super
Hmm.
chats. We're putting that directly into funding for the film, and I've got two today. I've got scrolling back up, Shannon West. Holy Toledo, Shannon West. Thank you
so
so much
much.
for the large number.
Shannon's
We're
just
gonna
gonna fund the whole film herself.
I think so. I think so. Shannon, you've always been such a big supporter of us, and we so appreciate that. And also, not to be outshined, Mighty Guitar Mods, a consistent, dear sweet funder of all of our things. Thank you so much, both of you. Let's see. I want to read this little. I want to read your comments because okay, just the number for Shannon. Mighty Guitar Mods, what about the part where you pay your crew with beef from Nellie's key grip truck? Where does that fit in on the funding tree?
If you can barter with your cows,
Yeah.
Tara and I are gonna have some magic beans we're gonna trade.
Yeah. I may
Basically.
be
I don't know.
I may be paying my stepdad to be our production designer in beef. I don't know yet. We're gonna
You just
figure it
pay
out.
him in visits. That's how you pay
Visits.
family.
That's
Yeah.
really what he really wants. That's really what it is. Yeah, probably like a back end point and of some visits and yeah,
Mhm.
100%. All right. Thank you again to Desiree for the PayPal as well. If you send us money, there's a PayPal link below in our description. If you send us money that route, same story. It's going into the big pot of money that's going to make things happen. Thank you guys so much. It really does take a village and increments of all kinds to make a
Mhm.
movie happen, and none of them are too small. So thank you so much. All right. Next week, we're going to be wrapping up the funding section. We're going to be talking about what we've learned, maybe a little about what our plan might be going forward, the tentative, what we're doing. So
Ew.
join us.
Yeah.
Join
Ew.
us. I know your least favorite part of this whole thing. So join us next week for wrapping it up on funding. And then after that, we're going to be diving into new parts of the development process, a little bit of stripboard talk, a little bit of marquee
Mm-hmm.
casting talk. We got some great interviews lined up. So that's
Mm-hmm.
all coming up in the month of August. I'm excited. I've been working on the schedule for August and I'm very excited about what we're putting together. So come back for all that action. And if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do so that you don't miss that. We got some really fun interviews coming up about how to get names involved on your projects. You might need that information for
I
later.
say, yeah, that's not what we're doing. We're the names. We need to do one on
No.
how do we become the names.
Oh, we might even have an episode about that as well coming up as well. So subscribe. And if you want to watch the show live, we do that Wednesday mornings on YouTube at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We love having an audience there. We do read the comments as we go. It does shape the interview we're doing. So if you want to have I want to say in these episodes, that's the way to do it. All right, guys, that is a great episode. We adore you. We're gonna go take some lay down on the floor time post film festival. If you've done a film festival, you know what was happening to us emotionally. So, all right, we're gonna see you guys next week. See you guys out there on the internet. Thank you so much. See you next time. Another one in the books. Boom, 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 boom. Welcome to the credit cookie. Welcome to the credit cookie, guys. If you're hanging out after this, you're in the know. And we hang out and talk to you guys directly. You could use a CGI Tara. My guitar mods is trying to replace me. That's the first comment I came back to see. He's trying to get rid of me. All right, we're going to keep this one brief. We are recovering from the film festival, and we both have so much on our plates today. But we do want to catch you guys up on what's been happening. The Waco Film Festival, Indie Film Festival, was fantastic. It was such a good year. Oh, God, I had a blast. We are... As of right now, the video for that festival is in the works. I'm in downloading hell. Not your stuff, my stuff. Just so you know, my stuff is being a jerk getting into my computer system for editing. Yeah, unforeseen.
And if you want to, Waco International does do an encore presentation. They have movies running that you can pay for. So you guys can wait if you want to see him in the event of. That's on there. You can wait though, because we will let you guys have it for free.
For free and first.
I just gotta figure that out first. But also, Obit might be geocached to Texas, or it might not be on there at all. But also, we highly recommend the feature Peeping Tom.
Oh man,
I don't know if that one's available. If it is, raunchy, hysterical musical.
Yeah, I think
about it. It's called Peeping Todd
to Texas, but
but some of y'all's in Texas.
Some of y'all's in Texas. You should, if you're in Texas, give that one a watch. We had the best time at the movie theater that day. It was so much fun.
I also highly recommend For Pete's Sake as a short comedy. If you can get that one, also hysterical. Gan Boots wanted me to give you the
guys.
Sweet.
Jack Boots says, sorry, I haven't been able to donate lately. We've had to buy a new AC and refrigerator. We could not understand more.
Goodness.
Never feel bad when you can't financially. You being here supports us so much. You guys have no idea. Just having an audience, you emotionally investing us for as long as you have means so much, and is also support. Like it's not in diminish of dollar signs. I promise.
Thumbs up is equivalent to $10 to us. Just so you know.
Yeah,
a thumbs up. Just give it a like. It's equivalent. Like I count it as $10.
If you give it a little heart on this video, that counts. That counts. We appreciate you guys. You guys have stuck with us for so long. It does mean so much that we have this invested audience. I know you don't think it's a big deal. We do, and the people who look at our work to see if we are commodities worth hiring look at that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So you
Yeah.
guys being here, it means a ton. A
Mm-hmm.
ton. Oh yeah, so Waco was great. We got Holly shorts coming up in a couple weeks for May I Put You on Hold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the
Mm-hmm.
LA area, that's going to be happening. Nellie's going to do her best to try and make it here. It's all going to be schedule dependent. I'll definitely be
Mm-hmm.
going, and I'm looking at the schedule, and I think I'm going to be able to put together enough time at the festival to really be able to cover it effectively. So
Okay.
we'll give you guys a look
Maybe.
into what that festival is going to look like. I'm going to do that today. Today's the
Uh-huh.
scheduling day.
Uh-huh.
My computer was being a jerk last night and was like not
Yeah,
loading websites.
I don't know if we told you that we made it we made it into Geek Fest. I'm pretty sure we posted that, but I don't remember if we've been live
We
since
haven't
then.
posted. No.
So we got into Geek Fest, which is a film festival that runs at two of the Comic Cons out here. So the Long Beach
Hmm.
Comic Con and the LA Comic Con will have in the event of screening at them. What else? I feel like there's something else. We got
I do
May I Put
too.
You on Hold and Obit are in Breck Film Festival out in
That's
Breckenridge. So that's in
right.
Colorado.
Yeah.
We got another one we can't announce yet for
I was
the
like, yeah,
script.
that's my
Oh
issue. Is
God,
I
they're gonna
can't remember
start.
what we're allowed to announce
Yeah,
and what we can't.
they're
We haven't had time to write it down.
they're gonna start piling up, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
So great.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I mean, we had a great time in Waco. I
No.
am freaking exhausted.
Yeah, me too.
I've
Me too.
lost my
And
voice. This is not what I normally sound like. Do you guys know
yeah,
that?
we definitely did that festival to the fullest extent
Hmm.
of doing the festival. We had a really good time doing
We
it.
made it in the paper
Oh, that's right. We made it in the papes, guys. The
because we did
local
our
paper.
gimmick. If you saw our gimmicks, all of them, we did our
Yep.
gimmicks, and our picture made it in the paper because of it. And we had a really good turnout because of it, I think,
Yeah.
for early
Yeah.
screening.
I
So
think
yeah.
so. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm pretty proud of how well our gimmick went at that one. The
Hmm.
one of the program directors for the festival came running across the street when he saw us dressed up and walking into the opening up party and he goes, "I'm so excited. I was
Yeah.
hoping." Yeah.
We start to
So,
get known for doing the gimmicks, and then now you like, it's not that it's expected, but you're like,
no.
what are they going to do this year? I think, and I love
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
I love like what's the new thing we're gonna
Hmm.
do? So fun.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, friends. We do need to get a wiggle on. Our workload is very high today. We'll be back
We got to make
again
up for
next
all
week.
that Waco time.
I know, so much fun. We'll be back next week. Credit Cookie as always. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you supporters and all the different ways you support us. We
Hmm.
so appreciate you so much. Okay. All right. See you guys next week.
Bye.